Girls, girls, girls. We've got many girls in video games, some braver than others. There are damsels in distress that really make some people mad because they strengthen the foolish stereotype that women are weak and they need a man to live well. Fun fact, that's bullshit. But I am here today to show you that there are some strong and famous cases of independent, strong women in this media. We've got our share of princesses locked in castles, of course, but you must not think that the entire industry feeds on this old narrative stereotype. Every woman that I will list now is both independent from men, as they are well-known characters, to show that female representation is indeed a live and noticeable fact in all gaming. There are even some characters that I'd really like to include, but I won't, because they are not iconic enough. That would be the case of Lyn from Fire Emblem, Orchid from Killer Instinct, and Midna from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, only to name a few. We may not have reached yet a point where both genders are equally treated, as female objectification is also still a big factor. But I believe we are on the right way to change that. Without further ado, let me start with the top 5 strong female characters in games. Number 5, Tracer. Cheers love, Kaori is here! Tracer is the character on this list that was created most recently. She's got a vibrant, captivating personality, and she most surely can kick ass. As probably the most recognizable character from the recent mega hit that was Overwatch, I dare to say that she is not that well known outside of the gaming communities. But despite that, her appeal as a well-designed character makes her extremely iconic. Tracer was a pilot from the British Air Force, and one of the best too, until one day she took part on a scientific army experiment that made her acquire what they call chrono disassociation. Basically, she keeps blinking in and out of existence on the present time. It was thanks to Winston, a super intelligent gorilla, that Tracer came back to living a somewhat normal life. Winston is a genius, and he created a device that allows her to synchronize her cells with our time. But that is the only time she's got help from a male in her story. After that, she became one of the most important Overwatch members, fighting the Omni Crisis. And even after Overwatch was disbanded, she continued to make justice on her own. Nothing can stop this lady from doing what's right. Also, she's one of the first characters in the media to be allegedly homosexual. That means she represents not only female empowerment, but also brings strength to the LGBT movement. For being an absolutely endearing, relentless justice maker, defender of more than one cause, I gladly place Tracer on my list.
Don't worry, loves. Cavalry's here. You know, the world could always use more heroes.
Number 4, Bayonetta. At first glance, one could think that the tight clothing and generous proportions of Bayonetta makes her a fetish display object. But once you get to know her, you'll see that she is much more than that. That sexy visual complements her flamboyant personality. She knows she is attractive, and she simply has fun with it. She's got a dominant character. That's the kind of woman that will chain a big guy to a metal bed and make him hers to command. That is why I believe that all the sex appeal delivered through Bayonetta is not a case of objectification, but instead of empowerment. In her story, she is the last survivor from a witch clan. She's lost her memory from the time her clan was alive and well. Her lifespan as a witch is much longer than a regular human's, which means she knows that everyone she bonds with from now on will see their end way before her. All that sums up to a feeling of loneliness carried by this character. But despite her tragic past and uncertain, unpromising future, Bayonetta still does her best to keep her cheers up. There is a bittersweet tone to her story, but the character herself, for most of the time, is fighting alone and enthusiastically. We see many male characters that don't deal that well with loss, for displaying sex appeal in a dominant way and for being someone that has a very strong emotional balance, not to talk about her fighting strength as well. I elected Bayonetta to be on the list. Number 3. Chun-Li. Chun-Li is not only the most famous female character in the Street Fighter series, as she probably is the most well-known girl in all fighting games. For the biggest time we know her, she's been on a quest to avenge her father that was killed by Bison, one of the biggest villains of the franchise. For accomplishing this goal, she joined Interpol and became one of its top agents. She is righteous and has perseverance. Also, she doesn't let her grief stand in the way of her best judgment. Chun-Li moves beautifully. She graciously fights her way towards revenge. Thus, she teaches us that strength and beauty can complement each other. She may ask for help sometimes, but only to have someone fighting besides her, and not in her instead. Thus, I am happy to give this lady a spot on the list. Number 2. Lara Croft. I can say that by being a female protagonist in a 3D game released in 1996, Lara Croft immediately made a name for herself as one of the first and most relevant, powerful women in gaming. I mean powerful not as in she's got superpowers or anything like that. She's just a human, but a very bold human. She is the definition of an adventurer. You could compare her to Indiana Jones, but on steroids. Her story is a little confusing as the lore has changed over the years, but some things remain. She lost her mother in a plane crash at the age of 9. She was also in the plane, but survived. Her mother disappeared. Being the heir to some fortune and a mansion, she could have chosen to live a simple life, if only trouble had stopped endangering her. And if only she wasn't so eager to find out if her mother was actually alive. Lara simply cannot stand still. She seeks to find out the mysteries of the world and about her mother, no matter how hard and perilous the journey may be. She is not one that asks for help to anyone, for she is a true loner. For choosing an independent, adventurous lifestyle instead of just clinging to her family's fortune, Lara Croft earns a hot spot on the list. Also, she made a big impact as a female lead on her debut. Well, now, before I go to the top spot of the list, I want to talk about two other ladies in particular, Peach and Zelda. These girls are probably the most iconic women in gaming. The thing is, they unfortunately do not represent female empowerment very well. They've had their moments, and their participation on the games of their franchises may have started to improve. I mean, in one comic book, Peach breaks herself out of Bowser's clutches, all action movie style with explosions. Then Mario gets captured and she saves him. In Mario 3D World, she's right there adventuring with the other characters. And to save another girl. In Spirit Tracks, despite being in ghost form, Zelda helps Link all throughout the quest to stop the resurrection of a demon that, by the way, would use her empty body as a vessel. But nevertheless, in Skyward Sword she spends most of the time traveling with Impa to do some mumbo-jumbo in special places, as she is the reincarnation of the goddess Hylia, but she is still captured near the ending of the game. The thing is, as though they are very well known, and they'd had good moments, these two princesses spent most of their known time locked away in castles waiting to be rescued. That is if you don't count all of that kart racing and Mario parties. They don't have enough points in their scorecards to actually be on the list. They may be improving, but they started to run way after the race had already started. Number 1 is Samus! Unless you got to know Samus Aran from one of the newest Super Smash Bros. Games, you probably couldn't tell her gender right from the beginning. Clad in a full-body space armor, this woman travels the galaxy fighting pirates, infestations of aliens, and whatever else needs to be eliminated in the name of peace. Samus was raised and trained by the Chozo, an extinct race of bird aliens. Thus, she learned the athletic skills she displays in all her adventures. She definitely needs no man. Actually, she needs no one at all by her side, as the great majority of her missions are done completely by herself. Occasionally, she needed help from a little Metroid, and we saw her cooperating with others a few times, but that's not the rule with her. She is the embodiment of independence, not only for women, but for everyone. That is why I take Samus in high regard, and why I didn't even blink before putting her on the top of the list. That's it, folks. I hope I have tackled this subject properly, as it is still a somewhat delicate discussion. What do you think about my ranking? Would you take someone out and place other girls in their places? Let us know in the comments. And by us, I mean the gaming generation. We are a group of video game enthusiasts. We make all sorts of gameplay videos, including walkthroughs, reviews, and lists like this one. We also have a Facebook page full of daily gaming gags and memes that you can enjoy. Check out our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for seamless, awesome entertainment. I have my personal channel as well, Videogames. On my YouTube, I post gameplays and comedic montages from playthroughs as well. Check it out and have a blast, because I know you will. Besides making videos, I'm also an 2D artist. I am accepting commissions, so if you want me to draw or paint you a character, just let me know. I can do diverse art styles. I'm done, friends. See you next video!